As an evolving spirit and change adventure navigator, it is Kate's mission to empower and guide you on your path and inspire your truest passions. She will encourage you to share your gifts, speak your truth, and ignite your inner wisdom and purpose. She hopes to do so with a little humor and grace, and her own soul fire passion. Kate talks with amazing guests who have embraced the pursuit and are fanning the flames of their own passion, purpose, and soul fire wisdom. Now here's your host, Kate.
Good evening. Welcome to Soulfire Wisdom and this 9th show of the Joy, Resilience, Connection, 3 days to start a joyfulness practice that fuels resilience. So before we get started tonight, I have one of the actual contributors that wrote their resilience story in my book. If some people don't know that I didn't write the book all by myself, I actually have 10 contributors who shared their resilience stories. And tonight I have Dr. Larissa to introduce herself. And she is a linguistic consultant and an ESL and culture coach. And she helps immigrants to the U.S. with their integration and supports them on their journey. She has 20 plus years of teaching experience in both academia and private tutoring. She's also a positive psychology practitioner, and she participates in a lot of organizing community events and actually building the events. And she's a speaker as well, and she is going to be speaking actually on resilience at the 35th International Self-Directed Learning Symposium in Cocoa Beach, Florida on February 9th and 10th. So that's just coming up. So I'd like to introduce her now.
Hello.
Hi, Larissa. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
Great. So do you want to tell them the title of your story and a little bit about what it's about?
Yeah, the title of the story was You Are a Keeper. And it has multidimensional value to it. And it started as a story, a happy beginning story, and also ended with happy end. When all of a sudden, I found myself a single person instead of married unexpectedly. And we celebrated 5th anniversary together. And just 1 week before it happened, there was a note with a big bouquet of flowers saying, "You are a keeper." And then 1 week later, so the person disappeared with the note, "I have left." So it started as a very unexpected journey. And then because of music, because of positive attitude towards taking it as a journey for self-discovery, and taking all kinds of not media, how you would call it, like art of healing, art of...
It sounds like somebody has something to say there.
I have 2 cats, right?
Yes.
Usually they're happy. So I was doing meditation. I actually, I read your book all night. And what you recommended, this is where my steps for recovery, for finding myself and finding journey and joy on the way.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end, the story ends with the quotation from the Bible, that I never forget you, I will never forsake you. So I understood that I'm never alone. And
Yes.
I also have myself.
Yes, it is sometimes a journey of finding that, you always do have yourself to rely on, even if other people don't do what you expect them to.
Yes. So, and thank you for this opportunity to reflect, also to have voice, and to read amazing stories of other contributors, that I had compassion and I have gratitude for my life also, and to know you.
Okay, well, thank you for stopping in and introducing yourself. I just wanted people to know that there are other people who contributed to the book, and a little bit about what some of the other stories might be about. And so good luck on your speaking in Florida. That should be a nice trip.
Yes, it's a spin on the book and our ideas about resilience. It's how to
Yes,
facilitate
I
it.
saw that.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye
Have a
bye.
good rest of your night.
You too. I will watch you also.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello.
Well, how are you?
I am good. So this gentleman is Ted Winslow, and he is actually a best-selling recording artist, an award-winning producer, voice or vocal coach, and composer with an international following. He's internationally acclaimed for his pioneering work through research and development of sound healing and its effect on the human energy field. Ted's music features SoundSyncTech, a customized brainwave technology developed through binaural beats, compositions, sacred geometry, numerology, tunings, state-of-the-art recording technologies and frequencies to create gamma, theta, alpha, and delta brainwave states. So I'm happy to have him here tonight to explain what all of that is about.
that's a tongue twister just trying to get through all of that. First, I just got to be able to take a moment to be able to say congratulations to you, Dr. Larissa, for coming out with the Living in Joyful Resilience. And I'm a quarter of the way through the book, and it's just fantastic. So much success to you, and it's a great read. I love it so far.
Okay, thank you. So tell us what all that frequency and SoundSyncTech is all about.
Okay, so my background is a musician and a producer, and an engineer. I started studying how different frequencies affect us. So, for example, every day that we're listening to most of our radio shows, music, is all basically in a frequency that's known as 440 hertz, which is A. So I kind of thought, man, I've spent a lifetime listening to this. And as I started working with tunings, you could see there's a bunch of synths in the background. Each synth and guitars and stuff, I started working with tunings that are going to be relative to a key signature, which is important in music, especially with composing. A key signature is going to basically tell you here's where your incidentals lay. This is where your main tonic is going to be, and that's how it's going to unfold from there. It's kind of like a roadmap for your music composition. Each frequency, as we know, like colors, right? We see colors, and each frequency that we have is a whole different note that's going to dictate where that composition is going. So most people see my music that's played, it's going to have a hertz on it. It's going to have a frequency that's going to be beside it, which is a measurement of electricity distinguished by this unit of hertz. Our bodies are electrical, and multiple frequencies make up and create it. And the vibrational frequency of the mind, it's going to determine that the vibration of which your body is going to be able to function. So that's one aspect that I've been using with my music to be thoroughly confusing. And the next aspect, I've been putting in binaural beats. And through some of the binaural beat issues or uses, I am using frequencies that are going to be theta. Right now, as we're talking, we're in beta. I'll put in alpha, and then I've also been putting in gamma, which is associated with higher learning, so to speak. And through doing that, I have to find a way to incorporate not only the frequency of the music that I just used, but the binaural beat has to be in that frequency as well. So I have to incorporate that, and I put that in through a technology that I developed, which is called SoundSyncTech. So And SoundSyncTech is basically a customized brainwave technology that I've developed through the use of these binaural beats and compositions with the tunings through state-of-the-art recording technologies and frequencies, and the brainwave entrainment, which is essential to synchronization.
Okay, so can you tell us why the different frequencies of music and the binaural beats, why they have a healing effect?
Sure. Well, to begin off with that, I kind of equate it to the difference of having a smoothie with just carrots. So you heard me talk about 440 frequency. We know, okay, and I'm not a big fan of 440. We'll use 528. Let me use 528 just for talking purposes. We know that it's good for us, which 528 is the key of love. But with a smoothie, we probably don't want to drink the carrot juice all the time. We want to put in kale, cilantro, carrots, turmeric, blueberries, cinnamon, ginger, and pineapple, which is going to give the body much more than what that carrot smoothie might have been able to give. So that's why I've used these different tunings. They're going to make people feel different ways at different times. As we all kind of are oscillatory beings, we're always in a state of energy. We're always radiating the energy and passing it on. We might be in a frequency that might be of D, or we might be in a frequency that might be A, a 444, an angelic frequency, or a frequency of C that might be 528. So one of the questions I get asked a lot is that, Ted, which frequency do you think I should have for da-da-da-da-da-da-da problem or ailment that I'm receiving? And I'm like, well, I've kind of put the whole board out there with all these frequencies. You can go through and choose. And I've got something like over 300 tracks on Amazon, iTunes, and Spotify. And now they can just pick which one that they want with that. So there's a lot of healing properties that they're using and continuously coming out with. The main aspect that got me started with it is I started using biophotonic imaging so that we could see our human energy field that we have. And you could see where if an individual is depleted of it, say they have a bad day and things aren't going right, they've been yelled at work, family issues back at home, now they can come back and they can listen, put on one of these tracks. And I was able to scientifically show, and you can see it on my website, how it's filling back in our energy field, is bringing it back to our natural state of which we are.
So have they done like studies on how different waves and frequencies affect the brain, or how?
Sure. I can go into a couple. So I'm going to start up delta waves. Is basically for those scientists, the science behind it, 4 hertz or less. And it's with a deep dream of sleep where the body can heal and restore itself. It releases anti-aging hormones, including melatonin, HGH, DHEA, and it's the place of the deepest relaxation and deepest healing and spiritual connection. Then you have theta waves. That's going to be between 4 hertz and 7 hertz. A lot of people associate that with Earth's frequency, the Schumann resonance, but that's a whole different conversation for maybe another time. The theta is going to be the border between the conscious and the subconscious world. And it's in this state of consciousness where we can access and influence the powerful subconscious part of ourselves that's normally inaccessible to our waking minds. So we'll say waking minds, okay, that's going to bring us to beta waves. Actually, before beta waves, we'll talk about alpha waves, which is the next one up there. That's between 8 and 13 hertz. And it's going to be the normal activity of the brain when we're conscious and when we're relaxed. It's associated with relaxed alertness and enhanced learning, creative, peak performance, and imagination and visualization intuition. So someone who might be going into a performance or an event might work with on the theta healing to get them in that alertness so that when they are done meditating or relaxing on it, they can be refreshed and go into it. And I say that because I'll talk about gamma in a second, which is a little bit different, but that's at the point when you're in the performance. Beta is basically what we're doing with conversing back and forth. That's basically 13 to 39 hertz, and it's the natural waking state of the body where we're active in our rhythm. Then the last one up there is going to be gamma. Gamma is everything that's going to be greater than 40 hertz. And this is the pattern of neural oscillations in humans. Gamma is the highest as far as the frequency waves go. And interestingly enough, it is the smallest in amplitude. The Schumann resonance that we talked about earlier has been starting to shoot up past couple of years. We've seen from that theta up into gamma, and some it'll be bouncing back down. So we're going up and down, changing with the Earth's atmosphere. That's where I've been believing and truly believe that this sound healing and we're dealing with frequencies has been helpful, keeping us back to our natural states instead of being in quite that state of flux, so to speak. What's been shown with that has been improved cognitive function, memory retention, data processing. It's activity that has been with the highest IQ scores and often have the highest academic achievements associated with it.
Okay, yeah. That's very interesting. How did you first get into this area of it? I know you were a sound engineer and recording artist, but how did you get into this healing part of it?
It's been a progressive journey. As I used to play live and doing live shows, I was kind of in the rock genre and I was coming off the stage and I couldn't relax and I was just on a state buzzing and it would take me hours to be able to relax from 100-watt amplifiers that were just resonating my body. And so as I was studying engineering and frequencies, I happened to stumble across it and looked at the first frequency I started playing with happened to be 528, and it's kind of considered the miracle frequency. It's associated with water. Lots of great things have happened with the frequency for DNA repairs that some scientists have been doing, I believe, in Russia. And so it led me on that journey with just changing the frequency of the composition. Through studies, as I was doing that, then I started finding out the benefits of binaural beats. And binaural beats have basically been around for quite a long time. They've been around. They date back to back Ptolemy, I think. 1839, German scientists had discovered what binaural beat was with the frequency follow and response phenomena. So when you pair that with a theta frequency inside of a frequency that I'm using, say, again, staying with 528, I'll use a theta that is going to be in that key of C. I don't happen to know what that is. I've got mathematical formulas in my other side of my studio that I use for doing all of that. And with that, you're seeing the states of consciousness ranges are going to be relaxation, meditation, reduction of stress, management of pain levels, improvement with sleep. A lot of people who can't sleep or have, as we're sitting here speaking about resilience, that people who have post-traumatic syndrome or my mouth is getting dry. Symptoms of post-traumatic, they're showing that by listening to music is building up a resilience against that and bring them back to a normal state.
Mm-hmm.
An
Yeah.
example I can use real briefly, a firefighter that was down on ground zero at 9/11, and he had trouble sleeping at night and just the horrific sights that he had seen by being down there, and was prescribed with the doctors and stuff like that, and called in one time, and I spoke with him a little bit and gave him a couple of back then CDs, right? And he started listening to them, and it just changed his life completely. He built up he wasn't having to be taking the medications to be sleeping.
Great. Yes. Well, I know, like I definitely like music. I have to listen every day, but, finding out that it also has these effects on your brain and energy field is valuable information that you can use in a lot of different ways in the healing field.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I it's one thing as we listen to the music when I compose it and I can put it out there for listeners or clients or working with sessions with people. But I had the opportunity of meeting with a pretty big scientist out of Russia, and he teaches out of the university in St. Petersburg there, and he had developed more on this biophotonic imaging system, and they were using it for clinical studies there in Russia. And so we got together, and I got to work with one of his engineers where we were really going through the devices and then in programming them and being able to have clients come in. So I do a base test on someone coming in who would be in maybe a stress situation, normal situation, kid. I did one on Vegas. Somebody who was like in Las Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the bells and lights and all of that. And then I tested them right off of the plane. And it's interesting by listening to the music, how quickly we were able to change it. So.
Okay. Well, that's good information. I think it would take a while to totally understand all that science behind it, but just knowing that you can actually use music in a therapeutic way like that is great. And Ted actually has given a free gift, his angelic sound healing as a digital download. It's one of his best-selling albums with binaural beats and some frequencies that I know I'm going to have trouble pronouncing. So I'm going to let you talk about that album and what people could get from downloading it.
Sure. Well, let me talk about how they can get it downloaded. So it's my best selling. Actually, I just hit over 1 million streams for 2 tracks already on Spotify. But you can download them for free because some people might not be onto the digital media platforms, so they can download it for free from my website by going to tedwinslow.com, and in there you're going to go into the store.
No. Actually, they have to go to soulfireradio.com, and then the list of gifts will be there, and it'll give the directions to go to Ted's website and download it.
You have to go to soulfirewisdom.com.
Well, yes, they have to sign up for the gifts. They don't have to sign up for the broadcast, but they have to sign up for the gifts to get them.
Okay.
So then they can download it. And I don't know, did you give me instructions for it, or what? Is it just a download that they can automatically make after they get to your
It's it's a
website?
it's a digital download, and so what it'll do is they can just download it straight to their computer. So if you're and you just put it into your media player, your favorite media player. If you're I on a Mac, it's going to be iTunes. On a PC, just your media player right there.
Okay. Yeah, it actually, yeah, it says MP3 player on the.
And so some of the frequencies that we've been using on those, well, that I've been using on those, is the angelic frequencies. Like 111 hertz is going to be Saint Michael, and that track is going to be Victory from Fear. And he's the only angel mentioned by name in the major texts of the world and religions and places that emphasize the angels. So I started him with that frequency being, strength and overcoming those obstacles. Other ones that I have are 222 is going to be Archangel Raphael, which is going to be spiritual and physical healing. And then we've got Jophiel, Metatron, Uriel, which is 444 hertz. And there's a big community out there that is going a lot with listening to a lot of frequencies in 440 hertz. Has to do, I believe, I'd have to come back and do more research on that. But it's interesting with a lot of people that have been reaching out, specifically wanting the 444 hertz.
So what is that word that I didn't want to say? That
Solfeggio.
Solfeggio. Okay. So what does that mean?
So solfeggio basically is derivative from French, or not French, from Italian. And it's all mathematical formulas of which universal frequencies have been derived from. And it consists of sacred geometry, sacred numerology, and all these frequencies that have been associated to have positive effects on all of our health and wellness. And they started out with main 6 frequencies, which are, okay, ut, re, mi, me being 528. I'm not going to give the other frequencies, but you'll see a pattern once I finish this. Ut, re, mi, fa, sol, and la. And people start going do, re, mi, so, fa, la, ti, do, which that's where that all came from.
Okay.
The third frequency, mi, M-I, is short for miracles. And on my Solfeggio sound healing earthly frequencies, I have a track called Miracles for DNA Repair. And that's probably where the MI, is it short for miracles? I kind of like to think so, but.
Okay, well, sounds good.
And I traced it for the history on it. I've traced it back through history, and it's like basically 571, 495. Greek philosophers and astronomy and mathematicians. Pythagoras was playing around with a lot of. He's got his theorems.
Yeah, there was a lot of association in the Greek culture between music and mathematics.
Johannes Kepler, I think he's another one.
Yeah.
So Pythagoras is interesting. He kind of, I like to tell the story. He came up with the first beginnings of a guitar with a monochord, and he's walking through whatever town he's going through, Mesopotamia, Babylon, and he hears a blacksmith banging on an anvil, and it keeps coming out with all these pitches. And so he goes running into his modern day studio and builds this monochord and starts coming up with increments by plucking the string on it, and that's how he starts coming up with some of that.
Okay. So thank you for being here and talking about all of this. And it sounds like an area that, people could really delve into and learn a lot from, as well as listening to. So
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on. And again, thank you so much. Um, Congratulations on your book. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yes, thank you. So this is actually the last episode of the book launch. They will be available to listen to any of them that anyone missed. Um, and the gifts, as I said, you can go to soulfireradio.com/gifts to sign up for those. And then you'll be able to go to the gift links. There's 9 gifts that everybody can get, and then there's 5 additional gifts that'll be done by drawing on the 18th. And so people can sign up through the 18th or through until 6 p.m. on the 18th. That didn't listen live, if you listen to it as a recording, you can still go and sign up. And to get the book, go to joyfulkate.com. And I guess that's it for the book launch. I hope people did get some, some good ideas on practices or tools that they can follow and read the book. So thanks again, Ted.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on.
So I'm just going to say bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Soul Fire Wisdom with Kate Olson. We hope you enjoyed the show. If we made you laugh, brightened your day, or sparked a new thought, we have succeeded in our mission. Join us next time when we'll share more secrets and truths and all the magic of transformation that is the journey to Soul Fire Wisdom. Always remember, be fierce in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire.